Good evening and welcome to Horror Time. This is another episode of Scary Stories to fall asleep to. Before we get into tonight's episode, remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. And now, without further ado, tonight's story. Thump, thump, thump. By improvement. Okay. 3, 2, 4, 8. From Reddit/True Scary Stories. I think this story took place when I was in middle school. It was late summer, just before school was about to start again. My second cousin had recently moved into a new 2-story, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. It had a big kitchen and a spacious living room. At the time, it was perfect for her, her boyfriend, now husband, and their one child. She has 2 more kids now. She invited me and my older sibling to spend the night with her. Mom preferred to stay home, but still wanted to see the new apartment. We all loved it. It was a nice complex, right by the school. There were a few bad neighbors, but overall, it was great for my cousin, and she was happy to have it. While my mom and cousin chatted and spoiled her baby, the neighborhood kids saw us and came over. My sister and I talked with the kids about toys, games, and where we were from. One older kid glanced at the apartment behind us and chuckled. "Can't believe y'all moved in here. Man, I remember when that old lady..." My cousin quickly walked over, cutting the boy off, and told the kids it was time to leave. They did, and we said goodbye to our mom and went inside. Now it was just me, my older sibling, my cousin, and her baby. By then, I had forgotten what the boy was saying because we started playing video games and having fun with the baby. That night, though, things started to get strange. It was quiet, eerily quiet. The TV was on, but muted. My cousin was asleep in her bed with her baby, while my sibling and I slept on the floor with some blankets and sheets. Something woke me up, and I looked around, but nothing seemed out of place. Everyone was still asleep. So, what woke me up? I stretched out and curled on my side to go back to sleep when I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. I could feel the sound. My hand was touching the hardwood floor, and I could feel the vibrations through the thin blankets. My sibling was awake, looking over at me. "You heard it too?" they whispered. I lowered my head to the covers to keep talking without waking our cousin. Here's how the conversation went. Me: "How long has it been going on?" Them: "I don't know, but it woke me up. I just didn't say anything since..." Cousin's name: "Hasn't done anything." By then, I was getting nervous, anxiously glancing toward the closed door. Her boyfriend wasn't there. He was out with friends since we were spending the night. So, what was making the noise? Me. Should we wake her up? Cousin: "Be quiet and go back to sleep." Her sudden sleepy voice made my sibling and me flinch. I quickly sat up and stared at her, but she was still lying down with her eyes closed. Me: "I was just thinking about going to the bathroom," I lied, hesitant to admit my real reason. She told me to go ahead, and my sibling looked at me nervously. They didn't want me to open the bedroom door. Who knew what was on the other side? But I was younger and braver, or stupider. I got up, walked out, and pulled the door closed until it was just a crack. It was cold, colder than just my bare feet on the floor. The entire apartment felt chilly, except for my cousin's bedroom. The bathroom was only about 5 steps away, but it gave you a clear view down the stairs and of the front door. I stood there for a few seconds at the top of the stairs, waiting, watching, with my fists clenched. Moonlight filtered through the small window on the front door, casting a faint path of light on the floor in front of it. Everything else was dark and quiet. My cousin, irritated, called me back into the bedroom. I told her I was going to the bathroom, and she told me to hurry up. I flushed the toilet to make it seem like I had really used it, turned on the water, and then went back to her bedroom. As soon as I closed the door, thump, thump, thump. Now I knew what the sound was. Someone was coming up the stairs, but not all the way. The thumping was faster this time, not slow like before. I sneaked a glance at my cousin, who was watching me as I lay back down, and she told us to go back to sleep. We did, and the next morning, our mom came to pick us up. My cousin, at the last minute, tried to get us to stay after checking her boyfriend's work schedule. My mom kept saying no since we had school the next day. Finally, after some back and forth, my mom asked her, "Mom, why do you want them to stay so badly? Isn't boyfriend's name here?" "Cousin. He's working, but I miss y'all and want to spend more time with you." Mom, not buying it for a second. "Uh-huh. What's the real reason?" Cousin, visibly anxious. "An old lady died here. They found her at the bottom of the stairs in her nightgown. She didn't fall. It seemed like she died while going up the stairs. I remember hearing about someone dying in this neighborhood, and I saw the ambulance once on my way to work, but I didn't know it was at my apartment." My mom immediately shook her head, saying that my sister and I weren't coming back, and neither was she. Nobody wanted to stay in that apartment. Not my aunt, not my cousin's sister, not even the boyfriend. He wanted them all to move out, but my cousin was happy to have her own place. He started taking overtime so he wouldn't have to be there much. A few days later, my cousin moved out and into another apartment in a different neighborhood. Years later, another family member moved into that same neighborhood. I remember looking at the old apartment. It looked empty, like it had been for a while. When I asked the family member about it, he laughed and said, "Nobody wants to live there. Everyone says it's haunted." I stayed quiet, just nodding slowly. The noise we heard while staying with my cousin, it was footsteps. They always sounded near the bottom of the stairs. I had stopped thinking about it, but now that I'm typing this out, I wonder, was it the old lady haunting the apartment? Why? Is she still there? Maybe one day, I'll drive through the neighborhood again. Maybe things have changed in the last few years. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Horror Time. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos. Have a great evening, stay safe, and good night.